This is Dr. Wes Fryer, and as I record this in the summer of 2020, we are anticipating a amount of time, maybe the whole time, maybe part of the time, we don't know, but we're going to be having some time of remote learning with students where teachers and students are not going to be together. And so we've been doing a lot of work on ways that teachers can record videos. And so what I'd like to go over in this screencast, which is part of a series, and I'm going to show you how to get to the other videos if you haven't found this in the series. Today, we're going to talk about a lesson cast with an iPad using Google Drive. And so what I want to do just first briefly is tell you what a lesson cast is. I've got an overview video about this, but basically this is an in-class lesson that you would teach and that you would not be having kids join live in a video conference. You're just recording your lesson so you can share it later. This isn't necessarily a best practice. This is just to try and minimize the number of steps and the complexity of what it takes to record something I got in class that I want to send to students. So it's a way that you can share instructions and content, and we're trying to really minimize steps here. I need to let you know that compared to some other methods, this does have some more steps, but it definitely has larger file sizes. It'll take longer to upload because whether you have an iPad or a phone or whatever, there's only so much video that you can put on those devices. And so what we're going to be doing is recording, and we're going to be uploading it to the cloud and then deleting it from the device. So I want to give a shout out, and you can use the QR code with your phone in your camera if you want to get to that, or you can go to the web address support.cassidy.org and find our module for teacher-created videos, because there's a variety of ways that you can create videos. And we've got a series now on lesson casts, but there's several other choices as well. So specifically on lesson casts, you can get to those resources using that QR code. And we've got a lesson cast format that uses Google Meet and the calendar and your laptop. We're trying to see if we can do that with Google Meet with the iPad. But right now, this is what we're going to go over right here is our best recommendation. When you've got an iPad, and probably you're going to set it up with a tripod, you're going to put it as close to you from where you're going to be speaking and presenting as you can. There's fancier ways to do this, right? You can get swivel, devices that are going to automatically track and move and things like that. But this is really trying to minimize the number of steps to shoot a video and get it up onto Google Drive and then share it with students, whether you're using Google Classroom, Seesaw, or another kind of learning management system. So really important, no matter what else you're doing, you need to think about how much storage space you have and how you can maximize it. And so if you go into the settings app on your iPad, you go to camera and then record video. This is with the latest 13 for iOS 13, whatever version we're on. You can reduce from probably the default that would have been 1080p. It depends on the camera and the iPad that you have. You may not be able to record 4K. I have a newer iPad Pro here, but you want to try and reduce the amount of file space that this takes up. So I made mine the lowest number it could go, which is still pretty good. I mean, it's that's DVD quality at 720p, but go ahead and change that. And I recommend you make that as low as possible because that's going to maximize the amount of space. You're also going to want to probably do things like go onto your iPad storage, and you're going to want to delete things that you don't need, especially large apps. Photos, realize that photos, they're kept on the device, I think, for 30 days before they're totally deleted. So you're going to want to, free up that space. At the bottom here, this is real helpful. That's in the settings. It tells you about how much space you're going to require. So if I'm at this setting, 720p, I'm going to take 40 megs of space for every minute that I shoot. And then that goes up with size. And keep in mind, if I'm going to be recording a lesson that's like 30 minutes long or something, I'm going to have that taking up space here, and then I'm going to have to upload that to the web, and then students are going to have to view that as well. So all of these kind of things increase the complexity of it and makes this, not ideal, but hopefully it will help you, and it'll help some people do this faster. I want to also do a quick shout out on the same web page, which we have for teacher created videos. If you scroll down, I have links, and I'm only showing 2 of them here, to 3 fantastic free resources that can really really help us create better videos. The first one is by Michael Wesch. He's a professor at Kansas State University. He's a major YouTuber. He's just done all kinds of amazing things. And he has a 6-video series that he's created in the last few months that he calls Teaching Without Walls, online teaching tips. It is just superb. And the other one, Mike Caulfield, who's also at a university at WSU Vancouver, he's created a whole website that's a short course that's free and open. And it is about, the web link is emergencyonline.blog, but it is about designing your lessons for online. And those are great. And those really have a lot to do with video, chunking, lighting, all kinds of things like that. Okay, so here's what I'd like to do now. I am going to go ahead and hide my screen here, and you can see my downloads folder. That wasn't really what I had intended to be recording there. I'm going to go ahead and connect my iPad to my computer here. And great, there's my lovely wife. And what I'm going to be showing, and I guess actually I probably want to go ahead and still show my video. Can I do that? I don't know if it'll let it float. So if I can, I don't know if this is going to work. I want to, there you go, show you my screen. I should probably edit that out, but hey, we may just kind of go with it. All right, I'm going to be using the apps that you see up here. Okay, I like to organize my apps obviously in folders, but for this demonstration, I'm only going to use these apps: the camera app, the Drive app, and the Google Classroom app. Actually, I do want to mention, I'll show you one more thing here on the screen. This document I have made is a step-by-step tutorial of how to do these steps. All right, what you need to do one time, and I'll just go over that really quick. On your computer, your laptop, or your desktop, I recommend that you make a folder, and you can just call it something like shared videos. And you're going to set the permission for that folder so that anyone with the link can view what's inside. And the reason you're going to do that is because this can be a challenge when we're putting things on Google Drive and we're wanting different people and different websites to have access to them. So this is a lot like an unlisted video on YouTube. Unless someone has the exact link, they're not going to be able to browse to this to see it. But that way you can put your videos in that folder. And once you set that up, it's there. And so I've already done that in Google Drive. So there's some stuff about extending the space. And then these are the steps that we're going to go through here. Make sure that your orientation lock is off. So I've got my iPad here. Yeah, I've got both those. I've got my iPad here, and I'm going to go open up Spotlight, dragging down, and go to Settings. And you can go into Settings, but actually the fastest way to do this is to drag up to the upper right corner and see how I have that lock right there. I can turn that lock on and off. Actually, I'll turn Do Not Disturb on as well. But that is going to lock my orientation the way that I want it. And so in this case, I actually want it to be horizontal. You don't want it to be vertical because that is going to letterbox your video and you're going to just waste that space. So a lot of times with smartphones, we're shooting video like this. We're holding our camera up like that, or a phone like that. But you want to turn it on the side. So whether you're using a phone, which incidentally, you could do that as well, or you're using the iPad, you're going to be holding it up, like this so that it is horizontal. So just real basic, and I guess you're going to get to see, my setup here with my computer. Hey, look at that. There's Wes's setup. So you're going to be scrolling through to get to video, right? That's how you get from photo to video. You're going to select video there. And you can notice at the top here, I'm shooting in 720p, and that's because I changed that setting. Hey, let's just go ahead and record. I'll record a video of my dog. Scarlett. Hey, Scarlett, are you ready to eat? You going to be ready to eat soon? Scarlett's taking a nap. All right. You've shot a video. I see my other dog here behind me. And so now that video lives in the photos on your iPad, right? So I guess we can talk about that real briefly. With this technique, you are not actually wanting to edit things, okay? We're just going to be using our video kind of as is. You can go down to the bottom in albums. So here's photos, and this for you is created by Apple. But under albums, if you go all the way down, it has media types, videos. There's 813 videos that I have right now on my iPad. And I actually think, for the sake of time, I'm just going to take this video, which is, I don't want to play it, which is 1 minute and 27 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and put that one up on Google Drive. There's obviously multiple ways to do this. What I'm going to recommend you do is you open up the Google Drive app. And of course, you're going to need to sign in with your school account. And you're going to want to get first into the folder. So when I tap here on Files, which is here on the right, Google Drive kind of shows me the most recent things when I log in. These are the folders that I've got here. And notice that I can see them in the icon view, or I can tap there and see them in the list view. As a technique, notice that I have things that have an asterisk at the top. And those files, those are the things I'm using most frequently, and I always want them to be up. But everything else here is alphabetized. So I'm going to actually scroll up to my shared videos folder. Okay, there it is. And I might want to put an asterisk at the front of that. That would cause it to always be at the top. But now I'm ready to put my video that I have on my iPad up into Google Drive from my iPad. And so I'm going to tap on the plus here, and it says, what do you want to do? And I'm going to choose upload. Now I say photos and videos. And the first time you do this, it's going to ask for permission. And of course you say yes. And now you're going to be browsing to your albums. Notice I do have that album videos. Also, if you do recents, that one is going to work as well. It should for a video that you've just done. But I'm going to go ahead and tap that video, and then I'm going to tap upload. So it is going to take a while to do this for longer videos. I've chosen a video that was like less than 2 minutes long. And notice a couple things. This is 33 megabytes in size. And look at that lovely name, okay? That is not a name that I'm going to want to keep. And so after you get it uploaded from your iPad, you may want to do everything else from your computer. You actually could, airdrop and send your video from your iPad, but I'm just showing you a workflow right now where you only use your iPad to send it up. I do think that you're going to want to rename that. And what I recommend you do for classes is you put the name of the class, if you've got a section for it, and then you can put the date. So I'm going to tap rename, and just for pretend, let's say this was Spanish. And let's say this is my section 1, so 5-1, and then let's say this was the first day of school, which was for students is going to be August 14th. And so I'm going to say that is Spanish 5-1, August 14th, 2020. And that is going to be very important because it's going to help me identify which file that is when I want to share that with students. Okay? Now we're ready for our last step, which is how we share with students. And again, if you are referring to the Google Doc, this section is called After Class is Over, Share the Link. And actually, I need to update that because that still is talking a little bit about doing that with Google Drive. So here's the technique that I'm going to recommend. All you need to do in your Google Drive app is you're going to tap on the 3 dots that are next to the file. Again, remember that you can see these in different modes. This is an icon view. I like the list view a little bit better. But when you tap those 3 dots on the side, you can see that you have a choice where it says link sharing is off. You can also click on share. I'm going to click where it says link sharing is off. And then I get a little icon that says link sharing is turned on and the link is copied. So that means I can now go wherever I want and put in that link. Let's look at the link first. I'm going to open up the Notes application, which you're going to see all kinds of things. Who knows what you're going to see? Because I use Notes all the time. I'm just going to create a blank note here, and I'm just going to tap and paste so that you can see the link. That is the complete link to this test, and I'll just go ahead and delete that here after we get finished. But now I can put that link into my interactive learning platform or a learning management system. We have a lot of teachers that are using Google Classroom. So let me show that as an example. I'll go into this Minecraft class that I used for my summer camp. So I'll go into classwork, and then we were having meetings as moderators here. I'm just going to go ahead and tap that I'm going to add a new material because this is going to be a video. And I'm just going to call this, class video. And then you can put the date that it was from. Of course, you can add a description, those kind of things. You can also edit this later when it's not on your iPad. It's a little harder to edit this on your iPad. I do recommend having a topic, and so you can have a topic for, class recordings, or you can call it lesson cast if you want to. And then very important, there's a paper clip there in the corner. This is how I'm going to be attaching. So I'm going to attach to this particular material a link, and I'm going to tap there on link, and I'm going to paste it. Now I could have also, I think, selected Google Drive and browsed to it. Either way is going to be fine. But look, I've named it, which is a good thing, in Google Drive, so it's very clear which class it was, what section, what day. I've got a title, and I put it in a topic, so now I can hit send. I'm not going to actually do that because I have students in this class, and they would be like, what? The students will receive an email at the point that I click that send button. But that's the process of adding that video from my iPad. Similarly, in Seesaw, what I'm going to recommend that you do, this is just a class from last year. I'm going to go ahead and add to the journal, and I'm going to say I'm going to post student work. But in this case, I'm posting a link. And so I'm going to hold down my finger and paste. And I'll go ahead and tap the check mark here. And what I am going to, I'll probably just send this right now to, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to make sure that works because I need to make sure that this is critical, because if you don't have the sharing set up properly for your folder and everything, your students aren't going to be able to see it. And that is not what we want. We want them to be able to see the video. Let me actually just check it really quick to see what's going on here. And I want to be over here in my Google Drive. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab. I'm going to go to my waffle here and choose Google Drive. And now I'm going to see my Spanish. It's using quick access here to say the things that I've done most recently. So I'm going to right click or two finger tap on that video, and I'm going to say, show me the file location. So it is here inside shared videos. Oh, but look, Wes didn't do that yet. Teachable moment, okay? I didn't change the rights I thought I had to my shared videos folder. That's why in Seesaw it was saying, oh, do we need to log in? And that was my clue. I must not have shared that correctly. So I'm going to change this so that instead of requiring everybody to log in with their Cassidy link, which a lot of times that's not a big deal, but we're just talking more about parents being able to see videos and things. And if you've got content that you want to share to students and families, I think this is the best practice, is put it in a folder, and what you're going to do is you're going to say anyone with the link can see that file. Okay, so let's try this again now that I've set my folder permissions correctly. And we'll get rid of Twitter here. I'm going to do this again on my iPad. So I'm going to click my trash can, delete and start over, and let me try again. So it's the same link. I haven't copied the link again, but that link has different permissions. And so now when Seesaw shares it, I should see a thumbnail about it. Ooh, we've detected an abuse of Google coming from your provider. Goodness gracious. Well, I'm going to go ahead and click the checkbox. And then I'm only going to send it to sample student. And it says that this class has been archived. Oh, great. All right. I thought I had gotten a class out previously. Okay, this is my class. I'll just try it again. Add the link, post the student work, click on link. I'm going to paste my address with my checkbox. And now when I do my checkbox, I'm going to send this to my sample student. And I have created a folder here that I just called lesson cast videos. You could call it class recordings, but that's a way that you can, organize these so that students are going to be able to refer back to them, and you will as well. So let's see if this link actually works. Man, I don't like that thumbnail at all, but when I go ahead and tap on that, and I tap that link, okay. It says the video is still processing, and that's actually also a good teachable moment to keep in mind. When you put video on Google Drive, as we have, it can take a little while for it to process. YouTube does the same thing when it is processing, through videos. And so it may take a little while before that thumbnail shows up and before it's readily playable. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I apologize that I have blundered around just a little bit, but one of the things I learned this summer is they said, as we're making, screencast recordings and videos and things like that, that actually, we humanize the videos as we have some mistakes in here. So I think I'm going to probably just still go with this recording. Let me just emphasize to you that all these resources are available on our support website for our school. These are openly licensed, so if these are of use to anyone, anywhere, please feel free to use them, link to them, and you can find all those at support.cassidy.org. Would love any of the feedback that you have. So you can reach out to me on Twitter. I'm W. Fryer on Twitter. You're watching this video on YouTube. You can also comment on the video, and I'll see your comment there. So thanks very much, and good luck to you as you are creating videos this year for students that are in remote learning.